First, former NFL head coach Eric Mangini. God, Chris is a mess. He's back with us. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Man, we just had
another
conversation.
European blacks conversation right during break. So with that, we'll pivot to the NFL.
It was great.
Right? That's natural transition.
I learned a lot.
Okay. Carson Wentz, he was the MVP favorite before injuring his knee in Week 14. The second-year QB tore both his ACL and LCL while diving for the end zone. However, that doesn't mean he plans on changing the way he plays. Take a listen.
I definitely won't change, so to speak. I think that's what's, made me successful this last season and really my whole career. I think it's just something that I've been learning since I got into the league. It's just constantly learning how to protect myself, where to take those chances, where to not. It's just kind of part of the game.
Coach Carson says he's not going to change, should he?
He should not change, but he definitely needs to adjust. And you heard it even in his words, him trying to learn when to take a chance, when not to take a chance. And that to me is so important to take a hit for a 3-yard gain. It's just not worth it. The risk is not worth the reward. And sometimes guys have a hard time because they feel like they're sacrificing their toughness or a level of grit, but it's not. It's about maturity. It's about being smart. It's about being unselfish because you have everybody around you is counting on you.
Everyone in the organization.
Everybody in the organization. So as much as you want that bravado or whatever word you want to use to describe it, you need to do a cost-benefit analysis and pull back.
And I was drafted by Philadelphia. Played my first 3 years there with a quarterback, young quarterback, very, very athletic, by the name of Randall Cunningham.
Yep.
Randall Cunningham, that was in 1987. Randall Cunningham did not have overall success in the NFL until 1998, when we brought him back as the Vikings as a backup. Brad Johnson was hurt, but Randall Cunningham was a different person in his mind. He had adapted to the fact that he had been hurt early in his career. And he had these caps made up. I'll be back and I'll be scrambling. Very, very naive, very, very immature. Right. So what Coach is saying, the overall responsibility that goes with being the franchise guy, it exceeds what everyone else in the organization, the type of pressure. So his overall decision-making, and if he wants to be one of the elite quarterbacks, it's not on his ability, it's based on his availability. And if he puts himself in harm's way, like, he's got to change. Now, he's got to answer the question the way he did, but he's got to make adjustments to his game because he's not at North Dakota State anymore. He is a franchise quarterback that's going to get $150 million on his next contract. And the Eagles, the reason why they're talking about winning multiple Super Bowls, it's not because of Nick Foles. It's because their best player didn't play in their playoff run. So, yes, Carson, I understand. Answer the question the right way. But in your mind, you have to mature and you have to play different than what you played your first 2 years.
I love the answer was I definitely won't change, but then he went on to say it's something I'm learning as I'm in the NFL to protect myself, right? So there's actually a little bit of conflict there. And so I think some of this is in how the message is sent and then received by Carson Wentz. You don't have to change, but you have to evolve. Or what was the term that you used? You said he doesn't have to change, but he has to
adjust.
He has to adjust, right? Which is, hey, dude, like, that sounds great, but we need you in the game. The basketball analogy is this. Like, if you pick up 2 fouls early in the first half, sometimes you have to let a guy lay the ball in.
Yes.
Even though that's bad defense. That's not what you've been taught your entire life. Because we can't win without you on the court. And the Philadelphia Eagles, though they were able to win a Super Bowl without him on the field, that's the exception. The rule is the more times he's healthy, you look at teams in the NFL, the ones that make the playoffs, by and large, have a healthy quarterback, right? Top 10 defense, healthy quarterback, you're probably going to make the playoffs in the National Football League. And every rule that they have changed over the last 10 years is designed to protect quarterbacks in the pockets and wide receivers so they're open and unharmed. That's what NFL fans want. That's what NFL franchises want. And we can protect you, but only if you're in that pocket. That's where he needs to, what was it? Not change.
Adjust.
He needs to adjust.
Yes,
He needs to evolve, even if he doesn't completely go away from the style of scrambling and designed runs.
And it's amazing what will happen when you look at Peyton Manning and you look at Tom Brady. people don't blitz them. They didn't blitz. We didn't want to blitz Peyton Manning because there's no benefit to it. He was either going to throw it away if it wasn't there, or he was going to throw it quick. And it's the same thing with Tom Brady. So it ends up taking pressure off you when you show that you're willing to do those things, because defenses do the same thing. It's not worth us practicing this, trying to get there if you're willing to throw the ball. Now, if we know that you'll sit in the pocket and take the hit, it's great, even if you get the completion, because we know we're that much closer to the backup.
Chris Kerr, let me ask you this. As a spectator, I actually love a mobile quarterback. I think they're fun to watch. I like the scramble. I like the run game. It's great. But to the coach's point, it does insert a certain level of risk at that point in the game. How tempting do you think it is for Carson Wentz, for Cam Newton, for those style of quarterbacks to not take that risk, to not sometimes run for those 3 yards when they see that opening in that window?
Right. Fans like it because it's more like fantasy football. You feel as if the guy is making a play with his legs. And it always, to the fan, yeah, man, I want a guy who can run. But the Lombardi trophies, they're not giving them out to quarterbacks who are scrambling. If you look at who has won Lombardi trophies, the track record will lean heavily towards the pocket passer. And
How does Russell Wilson fit into that, though? Because he does seem to be a bit, I'm not saying he can't pocket pass, but
right.
He looks a little exceptional compared to Brady and Drew Brees.
He is a unique athlete. He's the size of Drew Brees, but he has more girth, and he has more pure, elusive speed than Drew Brees. Now, Russell is very, very smart, but Russell's getting hit too much. So Russell, a lot of times, he's scrambling now out of survival. But this is what happened. It's not the people you see that end up hurting you. It's the people you don't see. Let's go back to RG3. People forget how he got hurt. They're like, oh, man, he went back, dropped back, and then he planted his knee dislodged, and he tore his ACL. No, he got hurt several weeks before that with a Haloti Ngata on the sideline trying to get away. Now, Haloti Ngata at 350 pounds. If we watch Carson Wentz's highlight, people think, well, the DB, the initial impact to the knee hurt him. No, it was the 300-pounder, number 97, who compressed his body against the defensive back. So it's the people you can't see. So as fans, you don't see these big 300-pounders. But as we saw in the video right here, it wasn't the defensive back that hurt him. It was the compression by 97 and the defensive back. That's what snapped his knee.
Yeah, and what do they say in the NFL? You don't get faster, everybody else does. You know, so where he used to run away and hide from guys, and now he's going to be coming off of an ACL, so he's not as athletic as he was, and he'll still be a very good athlete, and we do repair knees quite well. As athletic as he is, he's going to be a little bit more limited and probably a little bit more tentative when he gets out of the pocket. So I'm not saying you just stand back there and you're Ben Roethlisberger taking these all abusive hits and holding on to the football. I'm saying you can still be elusive, but inside the pocket, Aaron Rodgers-esque, if you will. And I know Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone. He's had the calf problem. He's had some
other. And that was outside the pocket.
Those were outside the pocket, okay? But the idea is you want to be mobile, but don't you want to be mobile in the pocket as often as possible?
You do. There's a saying, there's a lot of good young running quarterbacks, but very few good old ones.
Yes.
Because they get hurt. And what I loved with Donovan McNabb is there was an evolution to his game where he would use his skills as a runner, but in critical situations. Red zone, third down, 2 minute. And to me, that makes a lot more sense.
That's a real risk calculation. Well put, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us and being back with us.
Force multiplier.
Absolutely.
I know he has to use force multipliers.
Coming at you.
Waiting
With the Celtics. And can they compete with the new look Cavs? That's next on First Things First.
He's a force multiplier.
Force multiplier. Or he forces his way into the situation.
Have you ever